Welcome to today's reading. We are starting off with the Three of Cups paired with the Knight of Swords. Okay, at the bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Cups, and underneath that, I've been reading underneath the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Swords. So this card is coming back out again. That sigh wasn't from exhaustion, it's from get ready. Knight of Swords, it's not a threat. This is a familiar energy. So when I say get ready, it's like, know that you're already prepared. Because there could be swift new connections coming in, right? You see this, when you focus on yourself, when you engage, I'm just gonna have these two out here, okay? When you engage in solitude intentionally, or when you are knowing that you interact with people, but your boundaries will be exercised. Like this card right now in this season of my tarot reading right now, and the context of this means free will. So as you present yourself, as you are going out, practicing your empathy, sympathy, or practicing not hemorrhaging it, just giving out away to any and everybody, easiest way to practice with people you know, just letting you know. But as you're practicing being the person who allows yourself to have sensitivities, but also not let them run rampant because you have a choice, taking care of these connections, effortless. Because Nine of Swords can be saying we can easily cut out or add people into our lives. The Three of Cups can be, usually, I mean, so far, I don't often get this unless someone's directly asking me about a family situation, but this Three of Cups could be talking about family too, okay? Could be talking about family. I'm even looking at the colors here. Because we have, I hear like the Puritan, we have the Thinker, and then we have the Chaos. Notice how the Chaos's hand is on the, right? And since we've been talking about chaos coordination and so on, they're also the only face we can't see. Out of all the things shown here, all the people, we can't see all of Chaos's face, but we can see that they are moving towards both parties. I'm not saying that this person in the red cloak is a bad person, by the way. I'm just saying that, you know that quote, you know, when they show you who you are the first time, believe them. I want to kind of emphasize that's kind of what's going on here. When people present to you exactly their intentions through their actions, through, like, you can see what lines up for them. When they present that to you, you know how to make a quick decision. I think for some of you, it's saying, like, yeah, there are certain times where you need to give yourself the room and the grace to make that choice. And there are other instances where it's like, you already know. You already know if you click with somebody, you know, they're magnetic, or you already know if somebody is kind of like, that energy is not for me. That energy is not for me. And see, I want to come back to this duo here after saying that, because even though judgment is underneath the Seven of Swords, it's not your job to judge other people. What are you doing? Judging yourself. So if you'd be like, that person did it, I don't care. But here's a clue, and here's something that might be new for a lot of you, because this is something that I learned. As we've kind of piggybacked off of, certain relationships or dynamics are supposed to be chaotic. What you might be noticing here and here, but especially here, is that, oh, it's supposed to be like this, right? But it's not just that. It's like, if I am encountering this, am I still in a place where I'm saying, I created it, so it's my fault? As a lot of people who are manifesting and getting into this learn, you own it. It's my fault because I created it. I see why you think that way, and even I did for years. as I was trying to learn how to shift my life. But here's reality. Those people exist. Part of the reason why, and let me talk to you now. Cards on the counter. Part of the reason why you stick out these shitty ass relationships, and I don't just mean with people. The shitty relationship you have with money, that shitty relationship you have with your health, that shitty relationship you have with something you did in the past, with your clothes, with your makeup, your hair. That crappy relationship is a choice. And I'm saying it not to blame you, but it is a choice. It is between that story or your free will. It's as simple as that. Are you going to exercise your free will and start coming up with different affirmations, different questions to ask yourself, which is different problems to solve? Are you going to actually start applying that empathy and compassion that you had for other people? Are you going to start applying that to yourself? The only way you can do it is live. In the act as it's happening. You listen to yourself. What am I saying about this creation of mine that's reflecting back to me? Am I saying it's my fault? Am I saying it's my fault? Or am I recognizing, oh, that's contrast, which means it's simply not what I want? I want to explain the difference between the two here. Because it's so easy to run into connections where we find subtle blame, subtle guilt, subtle shame, and self-deprecating humor, self-deprecating practices. That's actually really common today, to talk shit about yourself and not be the thing that helps you commune with other people who talk shit about themselves, which means they talk shit about you, honey. Let me reiterate. They talk shit about you. That's not a reason to stay. Because I gotta prove something. Shut up. And that's me being nice. Be quiet and start listening to what you actually want. Your body is telling you whether to move towards or away from something. You already have that knowledge on the inside. The Queen of Cups knows what the fuck she's feeling. She knows what she's feeling. You know what you're feeling. If you're in a dynamic that doesn't encourage you to quickly feel good, and I don't mean by way of supplementing and masking, I mean as in like, hey yo, chaos happens. We got you. There's a difference between support and validation. So when you say, my creation, I feel guilty for what I created, or these dynamics, this relationship, I should feel guilty, you are still operating at the vibration of guilt and shame. What do you think you are going to create from there? From that perspective, I created this and it looks like shit. Over and over, I reiterate, this world is full of chaos. You cannot control that. But what you can control is what you put in the energetic market. So if you really want to have different dynamics, if you want to be in loving relationships where you are seen, you better start seeing yourself in these connections. The good, the bad, the ugly. What is your investment energetically into this? How are you approaching, as I've been saying, the proverbial table? What the hell are you saying to yourself before you've even interacted? That's what this is talking about. This is getting on the field. This is sitting on the sidelines when you're supposed to. This is the season of rest. This is the season of action. So for a lot of you, it's time for you to get up. I mean, have you noticed, for those of you who have been following me, I was gone for a while. I was doing this shit right here. And honestly, this 7 of Swords is me cutting out connections. Sha, 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 sha. I didn't even think needed to go. But when I started listening to my body, it said, you're not comfortable here. And I said, all right, why? And you know what I did? I shut the hell up and I started paying attention. What are these people talking about right now? What is going on? The signal is telling me I don't belong here anymore. You see that there? I don't belong here anymore. You might get a quick lightning signal that says, oh, it could be a message, a download. Oh, because look who we dealing with. I am tarot reading right now. Because this is my service to show up, and this is the path that I want to choose to communicate with you. Your intuition, your psychic ability, listen, they firing off. You know what they are. How are you honing into them? How are you investing into that every day? How are they showing up in these dynamics? This Knight of Swords could be what we call signs, serendipities, synchronicities. In fact, this right here, this right here is showing you what is in your immediate environment. In fact, I'm going to use an example earlier when I was, you can't see me right now, but I'm dog sitting. Okay? I'm dog sitting a little princess right now, and I love her. But as we were walking outside, I was a little late today. A little late getting her out today. Just a little bit. But I was like, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm here now. I'm taking care of her. She's fine. We're outside. She's sniffing around so she can pee, poop, you know, as she usually does. And I just look up. And I say, is that a purple car? Because I asked to see that. And a yellow vehicle, or I said a yellow taxi. I haven't seen one of those in forever. And suddenly, I asked to see that 3 days ago. And suddenly I'm seeing a very purple car. No advertisements. It's just a purple personal vehicle. And it was a nice color too. And I just went, what? That's how much it stood out. You know what happened less than a minute later? Yellow taxi cab. I never see those in the city. So why do I bring that up? When you are not resisting, and which is clogging up your own energetic, pathways. When you just allow yourself to have a judgment-free experience where you're not constantly answering to the external all the time. Am I good enough? Am I valid enough? Do I look good enough? When you're not doing all, when it's not that noisy, then you can hear when messages come in, be it by way of your senses triggering you. Okay? You can listen. And then you will also notice, the things that you asked for also quickly come in. Because this can be talking about, look at your environment. Look at your creation from the perspective of not, I did this, it sucks, or more like, what have I not noticed about my contributions here? What have I been saying about this? So I look outside and I see that it's overcast and it's going to rain. What do I say about the rain? Simple things like that add up. Simple things like that. You also want to pay attention to people who talk like that. I'm not saying cut them out. I'm saying pay attention to where they are in their life and why you're witnessing that. What part of your life could you also be lamenting? See, when I say do that as an exercise, you don't have to, by the way. But if you are hyper-focused on trying to understand more of what you are just saying, you're trying to get the quiet part to come out. Because we know that creation comes from within us. You want to pay attention in a different way. And it's hard to do that if you are constantly judging yourself for having an experience that might be unfavorable or that is clearly contrast. You know creation comes from you, through you, through you. So what you witness is divine. The good, the bad, the ugly. It is a creation. If you do not want to maintain the pattern of that creation in your life, what do? You start asking different questions to solve different problems. Right? That's what you start doing. You actually have to put a back seat on this roll here. And I'm going to keep pulling underneath the deck because this is kind of funny. This is underneath the Judgment card. Communication. Right? This is also like an identity death right here. Okay? Because, yeah, this is clearly a sunset for somebody. Or is it a sunrise? What is this illusion showing to you? Because that's what it is. So going back to the idea that it's a choice and that how you look at things that are already happening is a perspective. Okay, well, it's going to rain all of a sudden. I used to hate it. And then I went, well, it's going to rain. I live in a city. It's going to wash the streets. Also, the bit of foliage and the flora and fauna and the nature that's around here, I'm sure they want it too. You see, instead of making it, how is this attacking me? See, I don't see my creation as a personal attack anymore. Because you don't have to do that. Just like you don't have to see your romantic, and I mean love, dating, like to marriage or, sexual relationships. You don't have to see them like that either. I created it, it's my fault. No. You can ask, what vibration was I at that time? Okay, so I was young as hell, maybe, low self-esteem, lacked confidence, had no idea what was going on. And how many years later are you still blaming yourself for not knowing how to do that? This is why some of you are afraid to leave the damn house. This is why we're in a culture right now where people are like, I don't like interacting with people. Me. Meanwhile, I need you to validate me, but I fucking hate people. Make it make sense. It doesn't because it's illogical. It's in you, you know it. Now what it needs is your assessment. Assessment of what keeps taking you down every single time. And you know what you got to do this assessment? Go into the silence, whatever that looks like for you. So you can create something new. If it's not just a more open relationship to being this person. So then when it comes time for you to be out in the wild, guess what was underneath that Page of Cups? Hello. You can call it a vocation, but you can call it purpose or passion for right now. That's when you can start feeling safe, showing up for people and teaching them. You show up and show people order by way of operating as the order in your life. These rules, these types of traditions, these types of boundaries, and this exoteric teaching has a place. That is why you are mastering more of an internal connection to yourself, because this is inevitable. This is reality. This is the world. It's full of people who are looking for guidance. It is full of people who have already been looking to you, gravitating to you, magnetizing to you. Now it's okay for you to say, why? Why the hell am I so magnetic? Why the hell do I have a desire to help people? Why do I want to do it? And why have I been hemorrhaging my energy when it comes time to be on the field? Why am I so exhausted? It's because a lot of us have been conditioned to think we have to stick things out. No. Read the situation. That's what the Knight of this person likes reading. Reading energy, reading the situation. And also understanding how quickly dynamics can shift. Maybe what some of you are seeing here is that I used to feel safe and happy here. Maybe in my youth. But now what I'm noticing is that I can't. I don't feel the same anymore. And sometimes we make the mistake of just continuing to hang around, because if we leave, similar to my download that I got this morning before this reading, if I leave, then I fear retaliation. What the fuck they gonna do to you? Some of you do have answers. Some of you do have answers. And this is precisely why I have said for years, by all means, use the resources we have around us in tandem with the internal work that you're doing. That's called therapy. That's called the friends who actually show up for you. That is the people who are actually paid, and it's their job to do forms of protection or making space. Those are your resources. If you feel that speaking up is threatening to a relationship, that is where we say, okay, I'm noticing that. You do that first, and then you allow yourself to detach long enough to seek inner and external guidance. Inner and external guidance. Because honestly, this tale right here kind of says you don't have a choice but to reinvent yourself. Not only do you want to look towards people who are living a life that has more structure like this, where they can practice their faith and have people around them who are also appreciating, admiring it. And we're not in a place to where we're trying to be someone else's God. No. We are just simply in control of our energy. So it's like you are a proper energy manager. And people will naturally gravitate towards you. How do you do this? What's this? Da-da-da. Don't be threatened by that. That comes with the territory of being visible. You see? Just like me doing this work, what comes with the territory of putting myself out there? People who fucking hate you. Or people who know you and cyber stalk you and say it to your face. Yeah. Wonder why I was gone for a while? There it is. At first I was scared. Because I had that part of me that was frightened was like, I don't know how to, what the fuck? And the reason I was so scared is because that situation actually triggered an event that I've already experienced before. So my body knew what to do, but I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But then when I slowed down, I realized, I need to spend time letting this move through me and unfold, because I no longer feel safe, which means I don't feel secure. And you can guess all the different aspects of my life that got targeted just from me feeling insecure. And you know that hits the shmoney. And if you've known me for a long time, I don't play about people getting in the way of my fucking money. Okay? It's not because I worship it, but because don't get in the way. Why are you in the way of my money? My money supplements my ability to live. Money supplements my ability to pay for a lot of things. I even help people. I'm going on this rant right here because I know a lot of you resonate with this. Talk to you nice. Talk to you like you're fucking smart. Talk to you like you know what the fuck's going on. Because you do. Okay? So the reason this showed up is because get in the damn field. Get in the field. Post it. Say it. Act it out. Be it. Don't let any more of these relationships threaten the fuck out of you. For what? For what? I know insecurity is very dangerous. But you've survived up until this point, haven't you? You know what to do. And if it means it takes time for you to remove yourself from that situation, so be it. Time's not your master. Give yourself the room to disconnect. So when it comes time to connect, you know how to operate in the field because you know what role you are choosing. You're investing into your dynamics right now. You got me? I talk to you like this because you know what you're doing. You are not dumb. I'm not going to talk to you like you're dumb. I'm not going to expect you to be dumb. I'm not going to treat you like you're dumb. I'm not going to believe you're dumb. You have support. And you can also build more support. Where you're not getting it here, I promise you, those of you just like, I don't know how to walk away from like certain friends and so on. It's because you're not asking, how do I make new friends? And if you're not asking how to make new friends, it's because you're not asking, what different experience do I want to have in my friendships? AKA, how do I want to feel? What's the energy exchange that I want to have when I'm coming together and communing with people who I want to see me without me having to be a squeaky wheel? You see that? I think a lot of you are now in a place where you realize I have to go off and be with people who are in the same general vibration. You can call it a level, but that seems to have a lot of egoic connotation about being better than somebody. You're not. Even when I was talking about this, being in a position of authority where you're sharing how you got there, you're still not better than anybody. I want to make that clear. You're not better than anybody. Because if you say I'm better than somebody, that means that you're saying you're better than a version of yourself on the inside. That's not the point. The point is like, that version of me exists. Stop judging it. You are on the field to experience what you want, and it's likely joy. But when you say, I don't feel good here anymore, but for appearances I have to stay, or for fear of possible retaliation. That learned helplessness, get it the fuck out of here. I don't have time for that anymore. Notice it though. Notice it. Notice what you were doing. Notice what you were saying about yourself in these situations. I can't help myself, then nobody can help you. Period. And especially, you do things like that, that's telling you the type of relationships you can afford to have in your life. You can't afford people who know how to help themselves, because eventually that's going to wear off and expire very quickly. I think you know that. If you've been support to other people, you know that. This whole reading right now is a reminder to make sure that you are always including yourself. And you know when you feel like you don't belong. You do not have to force yourself to be in any situation, job, family, friends, lovers. You don't have to force yourself to be in any situation, not even health. You have free will to choose a completely different story by way of choosing how you feel, choosing a new vibration, choosing a new level for you to be at, which means that new landscape, that higher level, must have a new set of challenges to review as well, as I've been mentioning. Don't be afraid to face new challenges, especially if you've been working on, let's say, getting a new set of friends, for example. If you want more of that, you have got to be the person who gives yourself more. So ask yourself, is how I feel really important to me? And if so, how can I make how I feel about myself even that much more important to me? Maybe by 1% today. That's inner work. That's the inner work. That's the detachment. I'm detaching from this idea that I have to be everything for everybody. That's not realistic. And we're trying to work with boundless, infinite intelligence, divine, God, boundless energy, undefinable energy in a defined experience. Take it easy on you for not knowing. Take it easy on you for seeing something change swiftly. It doesn't mean you failed. It means you actually acknowledge you passed the test because you see it. And even if you can't see with your visible eyes, your senses picked up on that shit. Your body is working. You are working. Your ability to observe is working. Your connection to something bigger than you is right there. So doubting yourself, enough. We don't need to be at that vibration anymore. You know why? Because the mind is built to ask questions. That's why we always want things. Your mind is built to keep you safe. That's the ego's job. So to condemn yourself for having a human experience, to condemn yourself for not being able to fix and save people, or for not knowing how to move whenever you don't feel safe, that's where we need to give ourselves the grace. Instead of saying, I should have done this, it's like, you know what? That's where I was. That's where I was. And if I was at that vibration, then I had no choice but to experience things from that vibration. But if I want a vibration where it feels safe to receive, it feels safe to be seen, it feels safe to detach, I have to be the first investor into that story. Okay? That story is within you. Everything is in you, just like your desires are. That's why when people are trying to tell you manifestation is instant, it's because if it's the desires in you, have you wondered why it's even there? How did it even get there? Okay? If it's inside of you, it's already yours. If that's a definition of ownership that makes more sense to you, if that works for the ego to help satiate it a bit, the desire inside of you, that's yours already. You see it because you let it come out. Because guess what? Contrast on the outside. Just like I desire to be financially stable. It's probably because the outside is showing you broke as fuck. Right? You see how outside served you? And it let what you wanted to come up? Because it's not, I need more money. It's security. You want more security. Can't do that on the outside. Feel secure if you don't feel secure on the inside. A lot of you have been conditioned to completely ignore your thoughts. Some of you even take pride in it. All right? But before I wrap this up, there's a final message that I have to piggyback off of that. Being afraid of your own thoughts. Likely if you're afraid of your own thoughts, you will also probably talk too much around certain people who you don't need to be telling business. Shut up. I could be nicer, but why when you accept all sorts of shit from those people? And that was for some of y'all. Shut up your mouth. Zip it. If things around you have not been thriving, if projects or seeds that you planted have not grown, I don't hate to tell you, it's because you have people around you who are high-key energetically from you. Because if you achieve this thing, you're not going to be at this vibration anymore, honey. And people who are fucking miserable or don't know how to see anything beyond their circle will do this. Drag you down. Every time. And you don't have to hate them for it. Just recognize, I'm not here anymore. Because maybe you used to do that too. But again, excuse me, for some of you, be quiet. Stop telling all your damn business. That's why some of you are alone right now or needing to be alone to figure out what the fuck happened. You and you wonder why. It's like, why am I still reinventing myself? Why do I have all these projects that are not finished? Why do I have all this? Because the best way to hide something is put it in front of you. Check how you really feel when you are sharing of yourself. That's going to tell you what needs to stay and what needs to go. Okay? That's going to get you to be less afraid of seeing this card. Really, any card that's a bad card in the deck. Because you're going to say, all right, well, right now in my life, that means that it's time to start making adjustments. And those adjustments might mean myself from relationships. And I have to be brave enough to face those problems that come with choosing myself, because that's inevitable, right? So, to wrap this reading up, get into the field. Don't be afraid to notice what you notice. Don't be afraid to allow your body to flag the way that it's designed to, okay? When you share good news, how is it received and how do you feel about it being received? When you share an idea, how does that feel? When you are trying to adapt, when you're trying to move forward, when you're trying to accomplish, when you're trying to become more magnetic, when you're in the vibration of trying, who's there with you? And can you trust yourself enough to stop trying and to just be it? Just be the person who says, I'm going to say yes to that boundary that I have in here so that I can become boundless. Can I accept that this is where I am now? This is the vibration I'm in. And can I accept that I am more than deserving, even though you're born with it, I'm more than deserving of having a much bigger experience in this? Because that feels natural. If not, you wouldn't be here. So until then, I'm going to end the reading here. I intend that, all these cards out here. I intend that this was helpful to you and that you feel safer being inside of your own head. That you feel safer observing your own thoughts. being inside of your own body and analyzing your own feelings. You are a creative instrument, not as an object to be objectified by other people, but to complete objectives that are coming from within you, such as your desires. And for some of you, it's the desire to break a pattern so you can get to that desire that you've been seeing maybe from the early years. All right? So with that being said, I love you very much. And I intend that you love yourself more. Don't condition what shows up. Don't run from it either. Or even, because you don't have to, is my point. And notice when you're trying to, or what you feel magnetized towards, or what you deflect against. That's what the Queen of Cups does, masterfully. That's you. That's you. You are so good at coordinating chaos. Hello. You can coordinate even, imagine taking more off your plate. All right, professional energy manager. I know so many of y'all, keep paying attention to my readings. Y'all are going to be in my comments talking about, sis, guess what happened to me? Guess what I did? Guess what I experienced? And that's exactly my intention behind this work. I want to witness people putting the fucking work in for themselves. Being proud of themselves. Not letting time be a master. Not letting validation up. Who cares? You do. I want you to care about you and what's going on here as much, if not even more, than you ever have about external validation, okay? That's how you change your world. That's how you change your life. And you won't be trying to force out here to accommodate. Because think about why you're even doing that. A lot of you are doing it so that you can earn respect, earn, really, security from other people. It's okay to feel secure in yourself. And it's okay to practice that externally without cutting yourself or other people down, without cutting your environment down, without cutting anything about your creation right now down. Okay? Let your tree grow.